up, everyone? This is Adam Quiney. And today, what I want to talk about is this idea that if you can't speak abundance, your abundance, abundance in general, then it's pretty hard to live it. You can't have it. So first, when I talk about abundance, what I really mean is whatever abundance means to you. Like for me, abundance means an abundance of time, an abundance of choices, an abundance of opportunities, an abundance of wealth, an abundance of love. All of those things are really important to me. Yours may be different or it may be similar. It doesn't really matter. What matters is your ability to actually put words to this, to actually be able to speak to this particular thing. And I often see people get stuck on this when I'll give you a couple examples. So the easiest one is when I ask someone, so what do you want? And they tell me something really reasonable. Like, I want to make an extra $10,000 next year, and I want to go away on a 3-week vacation, and I want to lose 10 pounds. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with those goals. They're just ridiculously reasonable. Like, there's nothing exponential or unpredictable or unprecedented about those goals. So there's not, and what I'm pointing to is there's not really an abundance to them. And I really mean, when I mean abundance, I don't mean like 7 out of 10. I mean 10 out of 10. Like, it's not blowing the roof off of anything. So that's one of the ways that people don't speak their abundance, is that when they ask for what they want, when they speak into existence what they would like to create in their lives, they're very demure. They keep it very low. Another way is noticing the way people relate to other people speaking abundance. So if you have an issue with people boasting or talking about what they get, in law school we would often see this. People would, there was just no ability to let other people celebrate their good grades. This was how it went in my law school, rather than having it be cutthroat where you didn't want to see who was on the bottom of the list and who was on the top of the list. It was all kept secret. Of course, the flip side of that is that everyone felt they were the worst. But anyhow, anyone who spoke any kind of like celebration or anything about their grades got an earful. And so there's one, our own inability to speak the abundance that we want, or abundance in general, and also an inability to be with other people speaking abundance. The thing about this is that our language gives us our world. What we are willing to speak, to talk about, to ask for, which is another form of speaking, is what we are able to bring, to draw, to gather towards us. And if you have hang-ups about asking for outrageous things, it's pretty unlikely that you're going to get them. People that kind of get caught here typically think like, well, sort of, but I have a friend who, didn't ask for much and won the lottery, or just had a job handed to them by their parents or whatever. And the funny thing about those situations is that even though the circumstances may appear like abundance, the being of the person is not one of existing in abundance. It's one of the reasons that statistics show lottery winners typically get unhappier after winning the lottery, and it doesn't improve their life. It's because they haven't made any change in who they're being. So you can have a life of scarcity with no money, or with millions and millions of dollars, and still be scrambling to make ends meet, or scrambling to get more money, or whatever that thing happens to be. So the funny thing about all of this is that people often come back and say, well, what are you saying, Adam? If I just start saying, like, should I just start making affirmations like I am a millionaire or something like that, I'll magically become one? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that it starts with asking. It starts with a willingness to speak into existence what you want. It doesn't mean that by saying, I'm going to create whatever this year, or what I want to create, one step back, slightly a less powerful way to form that sentence, but nevertheless, I want to create this year, doesn't mean that you can then sit back and relax and you don't have to do anything to create it. You still have to do stuff. What it means is that by speaking it, you're taking a step towards actually creating it. The sort of, maybe another way to kind of see this is when people are unable to let others hear about their abundance. So you can often hear this where people say like, I was taught in my family to, be quiet when you lost, and even quieter when you won. So there's kind of like or they have this attitude like, I need to dim my light, or it's rude to really celebrate my success because people around you that aren't as successful it'll make them feel bad, so I should dim my own light. And what this does is it puts a cap on how far that person can really experience their own success. I'm not saying they can't be successful. I'm saying that no matter how successful they get, they still have to cap how they can experience it. Because there's always this issue like, wow, I've become really successful, or I've made a lot of money, or I have all the free time I want in the world, and yet I have to hide that from other people. I can't bathe in it. There's no actual abundance there. There's all this managing. Life becomes complex, and there's 100 different people that I have to manage and strings I have to pull, rather than simply allowing the freedom that has given us. So it's kind of a funny thing about abundance in that it has nothing to do with the circumstances outside of us. It's really our inner stance, who we're being about it, that actually creates things. And again, it doesn't mean that you change who you're being and magically things will happen, even though that's often how it kind of transpires. What it means is that the starting point is to change who you're being about it. You can start, like some practices you could take on if this is kind of ringing a chord or pissing you off, is you can start to practice going and being with people that have a facility with sharing what they've created or their successes. Notice how you don't celebrate your own successes or feel the need to keep them small. You could practice boasting 1% more. Just put 1% more of what you've accomplished, of what you've done for people out into the world. Speak it into Facebook. Speak it to your friends. Share it with your family. There's a million ways that you can do this. And as you do any of these, like any practice that you might get from a coach, notice what shows up. Because it's not really about the doing of it. It's about taking the actions and then noticing what that drives up in you. So if you're practicing boasting 1% more and it doesn't drive anything up, okay, well maybe there's not really that much there for you. But if you notice that around some people it's easy and around other people you're like, ooh, this is gross, cool, there's something there. There's a place where you can't be with your own abundance. It's always about finding that edge for you and playing on the edge. The stuff where it's safe, not really that important. Life is about being on your edge. I hope that you've had amazing holidays and are continuing to play on your edge. Much love.